How am I ever going to explain this?
Learn about the Force, Luke.
Welcome back to Rancho Obi-Wan. Today we're going to look at school supplies, from some of the latest things like this Lego pen to some things that first came out in 1977 and more of them in 1978. So let's take a look. You know, everybody loves back to school time. The parents especially.
Thank you.
Of course, when you say back to school, what's the first thing you think of but lunch boxes? And there were two Star Wars lunch boxes that came out around the same time. One had the decoration on the side, and one was just Starfield. We go to The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Again, the metal lunch boxes were really a very highly collectible thing. I got to tell you, there are very few metal lunch boxes these days sold in the United States, and those that are mainly for collectors. And you say, why? Oh, well, plastic is cheaper. No. It's really because there are so many schools, including elementary schools, that have metal detectors at the doors that they can't sell very many metal lunch boxes. Early on, you know, you want a notepad, a scratch pad, the official duty roster with Darth Vader, and the Wookiee doodle pad. The Japanese items were pretty amazing. These came out in 1978. They had a year to think about it. So here we have two R2-D2s, one of them a pencil sharpener, and one with an eraser. The Japanese did a lot of container-type things, plastic binders, and then black and white sketches inside. And if you wanted erasers in Japan, well, you really had your choice in the shape of your favorite Star Wars vehicles, like an X-Wing fighter, or characters, like Darth Vader.
Wipe them out.
You want R2?
All of them.
Something that seems sort of unique to Japan are stencils. So, like a lot of the Japanese things, even today, you don't know what you're getting. You pick up the little black gamble bag, and it may be a stencil for a Y-Wing fighter. And it may be something that you can't even figure out. This is an interesting one because it was a product tie-in. This is an R2-D2 and C-3PO pencil sharpener from Kodak. Kodak put out a cup, an ashtray, and a bunch of other items. Small notepads for kids, little wallets. You know, this one, for example, has a calendar for 1978 and your class schedule. The stuff in England was also very cool. I like these very colorful pencil cases a lot. Stormtrooper, R2-D2, Han Solo, 3PO, Obi-Wan, Luke X-Wing, Princess Leia. And then we have, from Empire Strikes Back, Lord Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker on the other side, as well as, Han's Solo.
Han Solo.
And Vader? Here's another Empire piece from England, the Probot from Empire. Good Ralph McQuarrie piece of art. Your Chewbacca Space Notes, and if you're a very small Stormtrooper, a Stormtrooper manual. Again, all it was a blank notebook. I guess for some reason, we always like things that we haven't seen and haven't grown up with. So, I mean, you look at something like this pencil box. It just says old to me. I mean, not just 30 years old, but it has this funky sort of feel. You have a nice little R2 eraser, pencils that have Star Wars on it, and you open it up, may the Force be with you, on your ruler. So you are undoubtedly going to have a great time in school with this set. Probably one of the coolest pieces out of the UK was one of the very few three-dimensional Death Stars. And this is a tin pencil sharpener, also from Helix. Very colorful, a lot more colorful than the actual Death Star, but a very cool, almost unique piece for many years. Really, there aren't that many toys that have, or any products that have a representation of the Death Star in a three-dimensional kind of way. Moving along, for Return of the Jedi pencils, Do a little puppet show in class. And, of course, everybody needs an Ewok magnifying glass clip along. And, of course, your very own Jabba the Hutt eraser. Ewoks and Droids were a cartoon that ran in the mid-'80s in the U.S. and became even more popular in Spanish-speaking countries. So from Spain, we have a Droids notebook and a couple of Droids and Ewoks pads in cutout shapes. Then the computer revolution took over, and so mouse pads. Here's a die-cut Stormtrooper mouse pad with a screensaver, but does anybody still have a 3.5-inch floppy disk drive on their computer? Here's a combination mouse pad and calculator, a lenticular mouse pad, and then we have some mouse pads that are tied to products. This one was from the Fact Files in England, and this one was from Chio Chips in Hungary. Now, of course, for the major Stormtrooper fan, and all of you in the 501st, we have a Stormtrooper mouse and mouse pad. And finally, last but not least, for Episode 3 in Japan, there were some very cool jump drives. Here we have Boba Fett, Clone Trooper, and my favorite, Han and Carbonite. Well, that's wait a second. You know, in order to carry some of this stuff to school, you probably need a backpack. Well, the best backpacks ever came out in England in 1999. Chewy. Wouldn't you love to have a Chewy backpack? And then if you're really feeling evil, the dark side has taken over, and we have Darth Maul and Darth Vader. So until next time, I'm heading out, and I will see you back at Rancho Obi-Wan.
Younglings! Younglings!